Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe tardy, but never absent. Welcome to the Coaches Show here at Buffalo Wild Wings. I'm Rick Bentley, joined by Coach Corey Phipps here. We had a few technical difficulties, so we do want to apologize for that. Also, I was sick last week, wasn't able to be here. That you probably can hear it in my voice. It's still lingering. I want to thank Bradley Yoder for sitting in for me last week. I'm sure he did a very, very good job for you, Coach. And coming off of a tough loss to Georgetown last week with Cumberland's on the way, how much time did you spend reflecting on the Georgetown game, and then when did you turn the page and let's just go?
Yeah, I think I turned the page probably about 10 o'clock Saturday night. You know, we had an opportunity to visit Shan Housekeeper, the head coach at Cumberland's, and he talked about watching our game on their way back from Bluefield and how well he thought we played. And I got a bunch of messages from other coaches that thought we had the number 3 preseason team in the country on the ropes, and to tell our guys to keep trucking. So you never want to lose a game like that, but you got to turn the page pretty quick. We revisited the next day with our players a little bit, and then got right to game planning for the Patriots as soon as we could.
Coach, I did think there was a tremendous improvement from the Campbellsville game to the Georgetown game. I thought we looked like a completely different team. I thought the defense looked really good in strides. Yeah. They bent but didn't break in times, and then, of course, unfortunately the 99-yard drive that Lee had set up perfectly with that 47-yard punt. Yeah. Things like that, just they get away from you sometimes. But I did feel like there was a drastic improvement from one week to the next.
Yeah, there's no doubt. We talked about that last week, you and I and Bradley and I on the show, and just the players in general, that you're going to make your biggest improvement as a football program or a football team in a given season from week 1 to week 2, and huge improvement. I hope our guys use it as motivation to compete against a national caliber team that was in the semis last year to springboard us into some good things moving forward. So nobody ever wants to be 0-2, but we're sitting here, 1-point loss and a 3-point loss against 2 really good opponents from being nationally ranked and 2-0. So you can't look in the rearview mirror. That's I had a coach tell me once I worked for, the windshield's a whole lot bigger to look at. Yeah. If you look at that rearview mirror and focus on that, you're gonna really be upset. But if you can just do a good job of looking forward, you can get your kids prepared. So that's what we're trying to do. I felt like last week we were both 0-1, so the team that got out of their feelings the fastest was going to have a chance to win. When we jumped out the gate 13-0, you really thought that was the UPIKE Bears, but just wasn't in the cards.
It was interesting that in this week's coaches poll, even though Georgetown won, they dropped all the way down to number 11.
Yeah.
So that may reflect a little bit of what we were doing too.
Yeah, I think so. They took a hit because of us, but once again, if you look at the old NAI format, you had to be ranked in the top 16. All these different things to make the national playoffs, but now there's no chance to necessarily be a Florida State undefeated and not make the playoffs. There's some automatic bids and at-large bids. The more losses you have, the tougher it's going to be to get that at-large bid. But if we can keep trucking and move towards an AAC schedule that's really positive for us and maybe get that automatic bid if we play really well, then you'll have a chance to make national playoffs. So I told our guys nothing is derailed in terms of who we are and who we want to be for this season.
Right. We still have no record in the conference, so it doesn't – it hurts, but it doesn't matter in the long run what we're trying to accomplish here. Tell me about Lee being the player of the week again.
Yeah.
It's unusual to be player of the week anytime that you don't win.
Yeah.
And yet he has been – and, Coach, I'm just going to be honest with you. We vote from 10 till noon. By 11:30 both weeks they've told me Lee's the player of the week, so just go ahead and send us the information.
Yeah. Well, I think if you look at it offensively, we're a much more offensively driven program than some of the other programs in the league. So, when you're throwing the football like we are and completing them like Lee is, I think that he's going to have a chance, for a few of those awards here and there. And quite honestly, DeAndre Stafford could have been eligible for that award, and some other folks, on the offense. And, I think Lee's play the past couple weeks has been tremendous. If you look at it, knock on wood, he tells me not to jinx it. It's kind of like talking about the no-hitter, right? wasn't sacked 2 straight weeks, didn't throw a pick 2 straight weeks, really efficient. He's got to the point where he'll throw a ball away instead of moving us in a negative situation and live to play again. And just not a more selfless quarterback that I've ever had the opportunity to coach than Lee Kirkland.
Talking about Trey Stafford, we're going to talk to him here in a minute, Coach. 11 catches, and I didn't realize it until Sunday when I was getting the record book lined out, that tied the school record, and it also tied the AAC record.
Yeah, which I think Diego Soto might be a co-holder of that record as well. So.
Yep.
Yeah,
actually it was Tyrese Christian last year.
Oh, really? At running back? That's right. Against Georgetown. But yeah, Dre is. It's a weird story. Me and Dre had a very interesting, contentious relationship when Dre showed up here, or when I showed up here and Dre was here. But DeAndre Stanford is probably one of my most favorite kids I've ever coached at this moment in his career. He's a guy that's accountable. He's a guy that's doing the right thing. Wasn't always that nature. He's a guy that understands the system. He's a guy who wants to be a leader. A lot of things have happened in his life to get him to where he is. It's not anything that Corey Phipps or the UPIKE Bears necessarily did. We helped facilitate some things, but some things that he put together to become the player he is. And, those are the rewarding things when you're sitting at 0-2 and you look at it and say, what are the real victories? It's to see a grown man like DeAndre Stafford really maxing out his potential.
And then we've got Naj Bellegarde coming in to talk about the defense. Had 11 tackles the other day.
All personality. You'll love Naj. He's a guy that's been in our program for a cup of coffee, and really kind of came on the scene last year, did some positive things for us, and we could see where his future was going to be. So another as we see a full-grown senior like Dre kind of on the last leg of his journey here, you see another guy who's young to the program and got a lot of bright future ahead of him.
One of my favorite things about this institution is Fist Bump Friday.
Yeah.
But Bellegarde comes from a town called Dallas, Georgia, which is about 40 miles outside of Atlanta, and they may have topped us, Coach. They have Food Truck Friday.
I could do that.
I could lay into that a little bit, too.
Hey, we got Fist Bump Friday tomorrow at the elementary schools, but the highlight of our week at practice this week was we didn't realize there was a elementary cross-country meet scheduled. So they start on the track, and they take up off the hill at Bob Amos. So we stopped kickoff return drill, and we lined the guys up as these K through second graders took off. And let me tell you something. It was pretty amazing. We're clapping, we're cheering. These kids are taking off. But when they hit that hill, it was like somebody put the Jake brake on. They slowed right down now. Right down.
I did see a picture of that. It looked great. I mean, that's what we do.
Yeah, it is.
It's what it's all about. So you've got a group here with you today, Coach. Who'd you bring?
Yeah, we felt like 2 groups played pretty well today. We really brought 3 groups today. So, we've got some people here from public safety, which is our kind of security force here on campus, who do a lot for us. We've got some other people from some of our student services and our Dean of Students office who, Chris Robinson runs that, and he's our Dean of Students, means a lot to us. We've also got Lee Upchurch, our head of public safety here. Those guys do a lot for us, support our guys in many, many ways.
Our second favorite Lee on campus.
Yeah, that's right. That not the general Lee, as I like to call Lee Kirkland. But we've also, in addition to that, got our linebacker crew here that really played much, much better in week 2 and deserves some love. And we've got our wide receivers who obviously through the first 2 weeks have done some tremendous things. Had our O-line here last week. I know you wanted to make sure they were loved on. So, but we're really trying to spread the wealth and love to our guys. The great corporate sponsor here and Buffalo Wild Wings to feed these guys. And I think they're on the 2nd or 3rd round at boneless wings out there, Rick. So they're eating it up.
Let's hope they don't eat all of them.
Amen.
All right, Coach, I'll let you slide, and we'll get into DeAndre Stafford here after this break. You're watching the UPIKE Football Coaches Show from Buffalo Wild Wings. Welcome back to the UPIKE Football Coaches Show. I'm Rick Bentley with you, joined by DeAndre Stafford. We call him Dre, so we'll probably just call you Dre the rest of the way. Is that all right for you?
Yes, sir.
And Dre is a 6'2", 169-pound senior wideout from Opelika, Florida. And I was going to ask you where Opelika is, but your high school kind of gave it away.
Yes, sir.
Miami.
Yeah, Miami.
That area
like
there?
it's like in the, I wouldn't say in the deep part of it, but like Carroll City and Opelika is like probably like 5 minutes away from each other. So like Opelika is more of the county, so that's why I have Opelika in my bio.
See, I try to check into these sorts of things and get to know you guys a little bit, but what I saw was that it's interesting that where you're located is, let me get this right, southeast of North Miami.
Yes, sir. Yes,
It's
sir.
really odd
Yeah,
that
it's because like I say, like how like we're divided into two counties, Miami-Dade County and Broward County. So like North Miami Beach would be like in Dade County, but like it still has its own city. So like it's like Carroll City, Opelika, North Miami Beach, Coral Gables, different cities and stuff like that. That's how we're divided and stuff like
all
that.
different suburbs
Yes, sir. Yes,
of
sir.
Miami. There. So against Campbellsville, you opened up six receptions. You'd like to have 6 touchdowns in one game, wouldn't you?
Yeah, man.
6 for 73 yards and a score. Then on Saturday, stepped up even more. 11 catches, 88 yards, 2 touchdowns. The 11 catches tied a school and an AAC record.
Jeez.
And I'll be honest with you, I didn't realize that until I was updating my record book on Sunday.
Oh, man.
And I was like, holy crap, that's a lot of catches.
Yeah,
Let's
man.
check this out. And there you were.
Yeah.
So the big game on Saturday for you.
Yeah, it wasn't so much of the game plan, but when Lee Kirkland is on fire and he's finding me, we just got that connection. We get the rolling.
That dude is he's something special, isn't he?
Oh, for sure. Me and Lee been down since day one, since we got here 2020. We just always had that connection, and now it's just showing, it's displaying more. We gotta take it to a whole nother level on Saturday for sure.
Good size for a receiver, 6'2", 170 pounds. Works out really well for you. I would imagine playing high school ball and that sort of stuff in Miami, you probably played against some Division I athletes, maybe
for
some
sure.
people who'll be in the NFL someday.
Yes, sir. Like I got multiple players that's playing Division I right now and are in the NFL right now. Speaking for like players like Jarvis Brownlee, he plays with the Tennessee Titans right now, and other stuff like that. But yeah, it's a whole different atmosphere down there. That the football is different, the community is different. It's just the whole everything about it is different.
So when you're having a day like you had Saturday with 11 catches, I know that I've never known a receiver that wasn't in the quarterback's ear, right? Hey, I'm open. I'm open. And even you got 3 guys on you, you're open.
Yeah.
But is there that communication, or do you guys just know?
I wouldn't say that type of communication. I'll probably say something to him in the beginning of the game, like, hey, bro, I'm on the backside, because, I'm on the backside receiver. So I'm like, hey, bro, I'm on the backside. Don't forget about me. Don't sleep on me. Like, don't think I'm just out here, you feel me? So, like, once he, like, established, I got him out there, then that connection, he just going to feed you. If he got that connection with you, you got that connection with you.
You and Diego Soto are really something special out there.
Yeah, for sure.
With him in the slot.
Me outside, yeah.
It works out really well.
Yeah, this is really our 1-2 punch combo for real. And then we got Ahmad, Tyrese Christian in the backfield, Jordan Williams, and Jalen Grant Scott. We still also have a lot of weapons, and feel me, the whole receiver core brand new. We still got a whole lot. Feel me, a lot of dudes coming up.
So for your career, entering the game on Saturday, 80 catches for 1,035 yards and 13 touchdowns. That's not bad.
Yeah, man. I ain't done yet.
No.
The season ain't over. We ain't done yet. We still grinding. We foot on the gas, put all there.
Here's another thing that caught up with me on Sunday when I was doing the record book. You and Diego both passed 1,000 career receiving yards on Saturday.
Oh, man, I didn't even know I had 1,000 receiving yards.
There's only 12 players in school history with 1,000 receiving yards. And so you guys are on there. You can move up that list pretty good, too, before it's over with.
Yeah, we just grinding every day. Like the work that we put on and off the field, it leads into Corey Phipps and what he's trying to establish in his program. He flipped the whole narrative on us. Like he made us going from what we had a bad image, what I would say back in COVID and stuff like that. People wasn't like seeing us as good football players and student athletes. But when he got here, he changed the whole script and made us more community oriented and going out to schools and trying to reach out to people and stuff like that.
Now, speaking of on campus, tell me what you major in.
Criminal justice.
Criminal justice, right?
Yes,
so Justin Hazelwood's here with us today.
Oh yeah, that's my guy. That's my guy. Like
good deal.
Yeah, that's my guy right there.
He's a really good guy.
I got mentors, but like if I was to consider him, he's my mentor for sure. Like I real life inspired to be like him for sure.
Tell me, being from the Miami area, how'd you find out about Pikeville?
All right. So it was like crazy. I always tell people this story. So it was second signing day. I didn't sign on my second signing day. My SAT and my ACT scores didn't come back in time. I had got it like probably a week after the second signing day. So I was just like, man, what am I finna do? I have no colleges. Like everybody had they receiver room signed up and stuff like that. So I'm like, man, I'm gonna just go to this camp because my coach at the time, when he was he wasn't my head coach. He was like a receiver coach or assistant receiver coach. He sent me like a little camp invite. It was a NAIA camp invite. I'm like, what is NAIA, coach? Like I don't even know what type of, because I'm Division I, so I don't know what an NAIA is. I'm like, cool. I'm gonna just go out there and see what it is. And at the time, Coach Al Holland was at the head coach at that time, so he was down there. I don't know if you remember Coach Lucas.
Oh yeah.
Coach Lucas was down there. Coach Anderson was down there, so they was all down there. And I ran probably 2 to 3 routes, and they was like, "Hey man, how do you think about coming to UPIKE?" I'm like, "What is UPIKE?" Like I never it's in Kentucky. I'm like, I'll talk to you, coach. And like a day or two later, Coach Allen Holland, he called my phone and we made it official right then and there. So. Other than that, I trust the process at UPIKE. I love UPIKE, and I'm here now forever.
So tell me, 10 years, 15, 20 years down the road, what are you going to be doing?
Well, hopefully if my NFL dream don't fulfill, I'm leading into the legal route. So like cop or anything legal, I would say just anything legal.
And I respect you for that, no question about it.
Yes, sir.
One more question about being on the field. Here's another thing you don't know. 13 touchdown receptions and 5th most in school history.
13 touchdown receptions, 5th most. Okay, so who has the top?
It's about twice that. It's 27.
Okay, 27. Okay.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. But 13. I'm 5. Okay, at least I'm breaking records. That's good. We starting somewhere. That's good.
You're putting your name in the record books here for sure.
That's good. Thank you. That's
so
good to know.
When you go home, what do you tell people about Pikeville?
Well, I tell people this is a place that you probably want to go to if you need to grow, because Pikeville helped me grow a lot from 2020 to now. Like I've been through a lot from coming here to even trying to find myself in life. So I feel like if you want to grow and figure out life better, you should come to Pikeville and probably venture out more, because Pikeville, it helped me build connections and people like Hazelwood. I'm not gonna lie, Hazelwood is a big part of my life. He impacted my life for real. And Tim Roberts for sure. He always impacted my life.
Two really good guys. Tim's former police officer here in the city of
sir.
Pikeville too. So
yes, sir.
they know what they're doing. That's for sure.
Yes,
You're in good hands there, pal.
Definitely.
Great. You've been a pleasure to talk to, pal.
Thank you.
Appreciate you,
for
man.
having me.
Good luck on Saturday. Let's get that win, okay?
For sure.
That's DeAndre Stafford, and we'll be back after this. We'll talk to Naj Bellegarde. After this, you're watching the UPIKE Football Coaches Show here from Buffalo Wild Wings.
Achieve your dreams at the University of Pikeville.
Welcome back to UPIKE Football Coaches Show. I'm Rick Bentley, and I'm joined by Naj Bellegarde, who is a linebacker here at the university, 6 foot, 189 pounds, and only a sophomore, getting it done on the field. Saturday was a big day. 11 tackles, all of them solos, a sack, and a forced fumble. That's a pretty good day right there, pal.
Yes, sir.
So tell me, I saw you're from Dallas, Georgia.
Yes, sir.
And I mentioned this to Coach Phipps earlier. I was going to ask you this question. I love Fist Bump Friday. I think that's one of the best things we do.
Oh, for sure.
But I was reading about Dallas, Georgia, and they might have topped us. They've got Food Truck Friday.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me about that.
Food Truck Friday is pretty much they go down downtown Dallas, Georgia, and a whole bunch of food trucks just come out and just, support the community, just giving out. Sometimes they give out free food, or they'll have, special sales and all that stuff, and just basically like a block party.
Good deal. Now, tell us, Dallas is a northwest suburb of Atlanta, is that
yes,
right?
Yes, sir, in Metro Atlanta.
Yeah. So how big is it? What did you say?
I say definitely bigger than Pikeville, but it's not too big, but it's pretty, not everybody knows each other.
Interesting, when I was reading about Dallas, Georgia, one of the people that mentioned is probably a lady you've never heard of, Patty Loveless, who is
No.
a country music star in many ways. And she was born in what is now our library on campus, the Alara Library. It was the hospital back in the day.
Oh, for real?
And she was born right here. Yeah, she's from Elkhorn City.
Dang.
So there's another connection there to Dallas. So what's it like growing up in Dallas, Georgia?
I say family. Like, everyone in Dallas, Georgia is like a family community. Everyone open each other with open arms, You could just be walking around and someone's going to know you, especially with going to North Paulding High School. That's really like a family, You could be playing there first day. Everyone opens you with open arms and just has your back from day in and day out.
Now, you mentioned family.
Yes, sir.
And then when you sat down here a minute ago, I told you that Coach Phipps mentioned that you have Haitian roots.
Yes, sir.
They're not very far back either, are they?
Yes, no, sir.
Tell me about that.
I say my parents are from Haiti. My mom's from Jeremy, and my dad grew up in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. I say, growing up with two parents that are, not from the United States, it definitely teaches you a lot about, how to, survive through life and, how to go through it. And, not everything's going to be handed to you. You got to work for everything you got.
So have you ever been to Haiti yourself?
Yes, sir.
What's it like?
I'll say it's definitely different. There's no really internet, no phones. It's basically like back in the day how my parents used to say there's no phone. You just had to go outside and just talk to people and just interact with people.
So I'm assuming that you've been there since the destruction that they had with the
Earthquake.
Yes.
I'll tell you, the last time I was there was probably when I was 8 years old.
Oh, so it may have been before
Yes, sir.
that. So it's a very sad situation they have down there. Rob Music's led groups for years on tours of, not tours, but to go down and do some relief work and help out with the reconstruction of the nation of Haiti. Now, interesting that Haiti shares an island
Yes, sir.
with the Dominican Republic.
Yes, sir.
And I understand things are a little different on that side. There may be a little more wealth or a little more.
Yes, sir. I'll say definitely a lot of tension between the two countries and all that stuff. Like, some would say Dominican Republic doesn't like Haiti and then Haiti doesn't like Dominican Republic, but it just depends on who you're talking to.
It's very interesting. Tell me what you major in.
I'm majoring in business management.
Oh, yeah, really?
Yes, sir.
So have you had the pleasure of my buddy Greg Green yet?
Yes, sir.
How's that going?
It's pretty good. I'm in the macroeconomics class.
Are you?
Yes, sir.
He's he is incredibly intelligent. I'm telling you.
He definitely is.
He blows me. I told him one day, I said, Greg, when you talk, I understand every word you say. But when you put those sentences together, you lose me pretty quick
Yeah, he
when you
does
start talking
with
about that.
all the graphs and numbers.
Yeah.
Definitely gets confusing real quick.
So did you not play in the first game?
Oh, I did play in the first game.
Did play?
Yes, sir.
But just no stats, and then here you wind up with.
I'll say I think I did have stats, but I think y'all messed it up because y'all had me as number 24 as the DB, but I was 15 on the field.
We didn't get any corrections, so I just want to.
No, you're good.
So we'll try to figure that out. We definitely want to get them right.
Yes, sir.
We want to be as accurate as we can. 11 solo tackles is among the most we've ever had. I think 16 is the record,
Yes, sir.
which is amazing if you think about somebody had 16 tackles all by themselves in one football game.
That's definitely probably a record I've tried to beat this season.
Yeah, well, that's a goal for you right there.
Yes, sir.
Tell me about what you've seen on this level so far.
I'll say what I've seen from playing from college football and high school is definitely you got to play slow and react fast.
It is a different level, right?
Yes, sir.
And you every day in practice you face Lee Kirkland and
Yes, sir.
those targets. It's I don't know how many of those guys that you'll see in a 4-year career on Saturdays, but it's got to be nice to be prepared for that.
Oh, for sure. I'll say I started off with Lee with scout team my freshman year, just seeing how he navigates and how to read a quarterback. He definitely taught me a lot with that.
Tell me about Fist Bump Friday. I know you participate in that.
Yes, sir. Fist Bump Friday is pretty much where two of the teams go out to different elementary schools like Mullins and Pikeville Elementary, and we just, brighten the kids' day up because you never know what they're going through outside of school. Jake Headley, he had a good, inspiring story with, talking to the autistic kid and all that stuff.
That's right. Jake's one of our favorites. He does
Yes, sir.
solid work in that area for sure. And tell me a little bit, Coach mentioned earlier, about what happened at practice this week when there was a very, very young group of cross-country runners
Yes,
getting
sir.
ready to take off. Were you there for that?
Yes, sir. I was definitely cheering them on, getting them hyped up and, telling them to run faster. I had one of the kids point at me and kept on running faster.
That's a good story right there. How do you like Pikeville?
I love it, They welcomed me with open arms as soon as I got here, Just with all the coaches texting me with the recruiting process, they were definitely heavily on me, And that's what kind of, solidified my decision to come here.
Now, Naj, I asked this question of a lot of our guests that we have on here. When you go home to Dallas, Georgia, what do you tell them about Pikeville?
I'd say it's definitely a small town, It's not like where back in Dallas, Georgia, there's so many, a lot of, I'll say, attractions. I say here it's like, it's basically like a country-like town to me.
Yeah. And when you're in Dallas, if there's something going on in Atlanta, you're right there to get to it. But
Yes, sir.
if you don't want to do it, you don't have to deal with all the traffic and the chaos of it.
Yes,
so
sir.
it's really a good location for you, right?
Yes, sir. We back in Dallas, Georgia, we either go Kennesaw, Georgia, or down to Atlanta.
Yeah. All right, buddy. I appreciate you taking time to come and be with us today and get that free grub.
Yes, sir.
I know they were having a hard time tracking you down this morning, but that's okay. We
Yes,
got
sir.
you here. That's all that matters.
Yes, sir.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Naj, good luck to you on Saturday, pal.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be back with Coach Corey Phipps. We'll wrap things up here at UPIKE Football Coaches Show. We're live from Buffalo Wild Wings. Welcome back to Buffalo Wild Wings, UPIKE Football Coaches Show. Naj Bellegarde and DeAndre Stafford, a couple pretty nice dudes right there.
Yeah, they are. They're good guys. A lot of pretty enjoyable, big personalities. Obviously, good players, but good teammates. Good teammates.
And that's a big part of what we do here. I talked to both of them about the volunteering that we do here and how active they are in the community. And Naj was really excited about that track race they had up there the other day, right? Or the start of the cross-country race.
Absolutely.
Those guys are good guys. Coach, I'm going to ask you one question we kind of talked about earlier because you said last week you had the line on. I wasn't able to be here. My question to you about the offensive line is, look, I'm not telling any trade secrets here. Like, when we drop back to pass, we're pretty good. We're still struggling to run the football. How hard is it to find linemen who are really good at both?
I don't think that's as hard as you think. If you're athletic in the zone run game, like you want to be, you're probably athletic in the pass pro. I think a little week one was a little bit of impatience out of me as a play caller to really get the ball down the field because I felt like they were pretty good on offense. Week two, I'll give it to Georgetown. They had some scheme things that really took away a little bit of the run game, and we knew that we could really throw some short intermediate routes and get kind of the same benefit. But, it's a bizarre deal in this system we run. We've had years where we're top 10 in the country in rushing yards per game, and we've had a bunch of years where we were top 5 in passing yards per game. So we really feel like the defense is going to dictate what you can do. And it's always usually funny about the time people really start trying to drop 8 and take away the passing game. All of a sudden we rip off a 250, 300-yard rushing game. So, it's a little tit for tack and a little bit of a chess game to a certain extent.
And on Saturday, your leading rusher is Lee Kirkland.
Yeah, it was. And, when we got in those empty sets and everybody just kind of vacated the box, Lee just took off and went. And, and he's probably a little bit more fleet of foot than you think. He had a 50, 60-yard run against Reinhardt yet last year. And James Miller, the head coach there, said, Lee took off like he stole something. I said, well, he can move a little bit. He went down to EKU to a pro day last year, and at 265, 270, he ran 4.9. So he can move better than you think, but he's also a guy who wants to stay in the pocket and run the system as best as possible.
I know Lee wants to score. He probably doesn't want a tremendous amount of 60-yard runs, though. That's
No,
pretty good haul.
That's it.
And then you're
and he's so big. It was so big. It was funny. Those guys were trying how do I corral? How do I get this mammoth of a human down?
There was a play last week where he charged up the middle, and somebody said that linebacker just kind of vacated. I said, if you had Big League running at you, what would you do?
Well, it was man coverage. He was following the receiver. But, yes, you're right.
So, Coach, we got Cumberland's this week, a night game again. I know you love those night games.
I do.
And, Cumberland's is a program that we've had a good traditional battle with through the years, and one more try at them on Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. We I guess 2 years ago got a win down there in the last few seconds, and and then last year was a hard-fought fight that I think we lost 27-20 last year. So Shan Housekeeper's been there 2 seasons, and maybe this is a tiebreaker for one of us. We're 1-1 against each other, but he's really a good guy. Does it right. Was the defense coordinator for a lot of years for just a Hall of Fame coach, and Bill Cronin at Georgetown College. So think a lot about that program, but also would be I don't think we need to hesitate and say that we're also praying for that area, the Commonwealth, with this issue that's gone on down there at I-75, and just hope that there's some resolution. I'm not worried about that in terms of our game, but just some resolution for that community and some sleepless nights there for a bunch of state troopers and local law enforcement and things there in that I-75 corridor.
And there's so much concern down there that several scholastic school systems have basically shut down this week.
Yeah, they sure have. So, the world's a crazy place, and we talk about that a lot with our guys. And, there's a lot worse places to be than Pikeville, Kentucky on a college football team. We talk about some days your worst day together is going to be better than your best day as an adult paying bills.
That's a fact. Coach, you're going to go down to Cumberland's, and if unless they've gone corporate, playing in a stadium named after the late son of one of the presidents there, David Taylor. I knew him pretty well, and the stadium was named after his son after they lost him at a young age.
Oh, really? I didn't realize that. That's pretty cool.
That's what you get when you get an old dude who's got a memory for stuff like that. Now, you asked me, what I had for lunch yesterday, and we're in trouble.
I could say about you what I say about Robert Staggs. You remember when the Dead Sea was just sick.
That's right. We've been around a while, that's for sure. Coach, I appreciate it. I know we got off to a little bit of a late start here, but we do want to let everybody know we appreciate you hanging with us.
Absolutely, and we appreciate you, and we also appreciate Wyatt, who does quite a bit for us as well in the Sports Information Department. Really appreciate our corporate sponsor here in Buffalo Wild Wings and our great partner in Pike TV, so we appreciate all they do as well.
Boss is here. You better go straighten up.
I see her.
So I want to thank the folks at Pike TV coming down here and helping us out. A little bit of a scramble today. Nobody was responsible for anything, but we'll get it together. We'll figure it out, and it turned out to be a good show anyway. So for Corey Phipps and for DeAndre Stafford and Naj Belgard and for all the folks here behind the scenes, I'm Rick Bentley. You've been watching the UPIKE Football Coaches Show live from Buffalo Wild Wings.
Achieve your dreams at the University of Pikeville.